It's here. Welcome to the CyRise Demo Day for Cohort 3. We can't wait for you to meet the companies presenting today. This event is the culmination of 4 months of incredible effort by these entrepreneurs.
Each one has put everything on the line to chase their dreams.
We are so thrilled to show our support.
Obviously, 2020 has been a tough year. COVID-19 has challenged every economy around the world.
And yet, Australian cyber has risen to that challenge, continuing to innovate and grow despite the conditions.
We've seen Cloud Conformity exit. We've seen Secure Code Warrior, Casada, Dex Systems, and BugCrowd all raise very significant sums of money to drive growth.
Clearly, Aussie founders are capable of enormous success. At CyRise, we know that on the other side of this pandemic, the Australian cyber star will burn as bright as ever.
And to the 6 founders presenting today, know that we back you.
Having seen your work over the past 4 months, we can attest that extraordinary times bring out the best in extraordinary people.
We're very proud to be on this journey with you. So step up and show us your stuff. Got it?
You have the whole Australian cybersecurity industry on board, and we're excited by your potential and the trajectory that you're on.
And for those of you who are watching and thinking of starting something, there's never been a better time to jump in and just give it a go. Game on.
Welcome to the CyRise Virtual Demo Day. We're delighted that you're here. Today, you'll hear pitches from our 6 teams, each of them introduced by our entrepreneur in residence, Ron Moritz. After we've finished the pitches, we'll head to Zoom for a live Q&A, and the links you need will be below. If you're viewing this on the CyRise website, know that this landing page you're on will be updated over the next couple of hours to provide you with all the information you need to get in touch with our founders. But for now, get comfy, you're in for a treat.
We entered 2020 with a huge sense of its promise. The last 12 months have been full of potential. CyRise has delivered 3 boot camps with the support of the entire cyber community. These early stage programs deliver founders for the future of Australian cybersecurity. CyRise portfolio companies have continued their upward growth. 60% of our teams have gone on to raise external capital, while many of them have also won competitive grants. All of them are growing their teams and consistently winning blue chip customers. This is the first year we have gone broad. The founders you will see today have been selected from over 200 applications from the entire Asia Pacific region. 2 of the teams have already signed with global companies, and 3 of the teams have angel investors already at the table.
Over the last 4 months, our founders have collided with the market. Lockdown did not slow their momentum at all. Workshops, founder conversations, industry sessions, investor meetings. They embraced all the learnings every step of the way. And so we'd like to thank everybody who's been part of this journey, our mentors, our industry advisors, and our CyRise partners.
A demo day is a celebration. It showcases the potential of the founders and gives you an opportunity to support them.
Lift up these founders, tweet your support, join in the Zoom call, and work with one startup today.
And now, here's our entrepreneur in residence, Ron Moritz, all the way from Tel Aviv. He brings experience from Microsoft, Symantec, and is currently cybersecurity partner at VC firm Our Crowd. Over to you, Ron.
No pain, no gain. So goes the story in the fitness club. So goes the story on the front lines of the cyber war. Ryan Janasovic has been on those front lines, picking up and cleaning up after cyber defenders who've lost battle after battle. He understands that the only way for us to be fit is through an exercise regime. He's created a system that allows both simulations and gamification in order to build exercise programs for cybersecurity frontliners. Please welcome Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan from Retrospect Labs, and alongside my co-founder, I've spent the last 7 years working at the Australian Cybersecurity Centre, responding to incidents that have impacted and disrupted Australian organisations. I've been on the front line, and I've seen the devastating impacts these incidents can have. What we saw from the pain organisations experienced as a result of these incidents was that fundamentally, they weren't ready. When an incident hit, they couldn't mobilise their incident response teams properly, and that gave the bad guys an advantage. We also saw the cost of these incidents. The average cost for responding to a data breach incident alone can be up to $4 million US. I know, as network defenders, we're in a constant state of war against a diverse range of complex cyber threats. But I also know that it's not a question of if a cybersecurity incident will happen to you, but when a cybersecurity incident will happen to you. And from my experience on the front line, I'm here today to tell you that you're not ready. Cybersecurity exercises are a great way to train your teams so that they'll be ready, so that they know exactly what to do when an incident hits. Popular cybersecurity frameworks, like NIST, recommend that you regularly conduct exercises. But at the moment, there's no easy way to frequently conduct exercises in a meaningful way. They can be costly, they're hard to get right, they often lack depth. Frankly, they're pretty underwhelming. But we've fixed that problem. We have built a cybersecurity exercise platform that enables exercises to be designed, executed, and evaluated in a repeatable, meaningful, and efficient way. We make it quick and easy for exercises to be run so that your teams will know exactly what they need to do to respond to their next incident. We provide you with a library of different scenarios that you can use to run different types of exercises, from tabletops through to functional, hands-on exercises. You can run a weekly 20-minute exercise with just the security operations team, or you can run multi-day exercises with the whole organisation and include all teams involved in the incident response process, like the media and legal teams. You can run exercises remotely, in different time zones and across multiple geographies. We make you ready so that you no longer have to fear that incident. Your teams need to train constantly so that they're prepared. The more they train, the more effective they'll be at incident response. So our platform is available on a subscription basis. We are already working with a number of critical organisations like the Australian Defence Force, the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, and critical energy sector companies. We're improving their readiness. And I know that the next time they experience a cybersecurity incident, they'll know exactly how to respond. So if you're interested in learning more about how we do cybersecurity exercises, if you want to know how your teams will respond before an incident happens, and if you want to improve your readiness, get in touch. I'm Ryan from Retrospect Labs.
This entrepreneur explains that when you do jobs that no one else wants to do, you end up with skills that no one else has. Martin McGregor has crawled through ceilings, has crawled underneath desks, and has tinkered with more computers than anyone else I know. He's had a front row seat to the upside down, inside out world of enterprise device management, a world that he knows isn't working well. Please welcome Martin, who will explain why the most effective way to tackle cybersecurity begins with a people-centric device management strategy.
Hi, I'm Martin McGregor, CEO and co-founder of Devicey. Today, I want to tell you about one technology modern businesses can choose to solve two of their biggest challenges. My journey to you starts in the late 90s, when my dad got me my first job in IT, setting up PC after PC, day after day, month after month in a dingy basement. My dad worked his whole career in IT, so I begged him to find me another job. But his advice set me on a course to where I am today. If you work on the problems that no one else wants to, you end up with skills that no one else has. 20 years later, my business partners and I have not only become leaders and experts in this field, but we've created Devicey, a technology that changes the way businesses deal with devices forever. Why? Well, businesses have provided devices to people to make them more efficient. But over the years, we've cut funding to the team supporting those devices, leaving staff to fend for themselves. Not only that, undermanaged devices have created the biggest exposure modern businesses face from cybercrime, with 80% of successful cyber attacks targeting staff devices. Our competitors provide you tools that you can use to solve these problems for yourself, but Devicey is very different. Devicey is a full lifecycle, end-to-end device management platform and service that solves these problems for you so that you don't have to. Just like PointsBet, a global company with operations all over the world and very complicated regulatory and security requirements. I happened to be visiting PointsBet one day when I overheard a conversation between a developer and the service desk. The developer had forgotten his laptop at home and was asking for a spare, explaining that it would be quicker to use Devicey than drive home and pick up his own. That's because in less than 30 minutes, Devicey sets up staff devices with everything they need to work, all of their apps, files and settings, so they can take off from where they left off. Making the user experience great is how Devicey won a POC showdown against all of the major vendors in this space for Compass Group, with 450 remote sites in Australia alone. Devicey was the only vendor able to demonstrate complete management control of all devices wherever they were. That's why we call Devicey people-centric device management, because by making the user experience great, we not only improve the efficiency of the entire organization, it's how Devicey makes security happen. Devicey requires no agents or infrastructure, leveraging identity management and Microsoft Intune to provide absolute coverage and visibility across every single device: Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS. No gaps, no blind spots. Devicey is off and running. Our clients and unprecedented support from Microsoft have cemented our place as the global leader in people-centric device management. We will succeed when, for your business, device management becomes yesterday's problem. To make that happen, please contact me, martin@devicey.com. Thank you.
Being able to stimulate and support entrepreneurs in cybersecurity is critical. I mean, we have a strategy to develop technology for the good of society. We're a connector in our own right. We've invested capital into CyRise and some of the cohorts. And our shareholders want to see a return. But importantly, we want to see a return to the founders. We want them all to be brilliantly successful, to make some money and to make a career out of this. And from our perspective, that's a win-win for all of us.
In 2002, Bill Gates launched the industry on a mission to secure code. He called it trustworthy computing. Today, the most significant and worrisome problem is not insecure code, but data. Data that poisons machines that learn. Yaniv Rodensky understands that data poisoning, a world he's lived in for the last decade, is in fact our biggest cybersecurity challenge. Please welcome Yaniv, who is setting the industry on a new journey to protect data.
Hi, I'm Yaniv, co-founder and CEO of Baduk. And today I want to talk to you about a problem I've seen over and over in my career, and quite frankly, I think we should have solved that a long time ago. Now, we all know how code quality and code hygiene are some of the biggest factors in application security. But when it comes to the next generations of application, machine learning and AI, it's actually data we need to keep our eyes on. Let me give you a simple example. Earlier this year, a German artist, armed with nothing more than a little red wagon full of mobile phones, managed to fool the Google Maps app that there's a virtual traffic jam around the Google office in Berlin. Now you might think that's just a juvenile trick, or that just happens to Google, and you'll be wrong. This happens to every company that uses machine learning in anger. It happened to Amazon with their recruiting algorithm, to Apple with their credit scoring, and even to Zoom that all of us use to communicate today was banned from the App Store when school kids realized they can do that to avoid homeschooling. If it happens to them, you can be sure it's happening to you. In theory, there should be a simple solution. We should be able to test our data. But data is messy, and there's just so much of it today. It's virtually impossible. Organizations are usually defaulting to one of two bad options. Either trying to build a framework themselves to test the data, usually a very costly and ineffective exercise, or rely on human testers. And that's just wrong for all the reasons we stopped using human testers in other areas of applications. So we at Baduk decided to do something about it, and we built the world's first test automation and monitoring platform designed to tackle those issues. With Baduk, data scientists can easily author tests, automate the execution when new data arrives in the system, and if something is wrong, they have the tools to immediately investigate what's gone wrong. We're already rolling out Baduk to our first POC customer with a few more use cases in the pipeline across retail, customer service, healthcare, and insurance. But we're not going to stop there. As machine learning and AI become more and more integrated into our everyday lives, from the way we're driving our cars, run our businesses, and even raise our children, it's clear to us that data safety is everyone's business. And that's why we're building the world's first ranking body for data quality. Now, we've built systems for some of the most ambitious organizations around, and we've got this. But we can't do this alone, and this is where we need you. We're now raising our seed round of $750,000, and we're looking for fearless investors that are looking to tackle the world's biggest problem today. So if you are one of those, contact us. I'm Yaniv, co-founder of Baduk. Thank you.
Fixing software defects and technology vulnerabilities is a pandemic-proof activity, but it is also a black hole. Venu Rao understood this after launching a penetration testing company several years ago. He saw that only 3% of the vulnerabilities discovered were relevant, and he set out to light a match, light up the tunnel, light up the black hole, and lead us into a prioritization process from which we can actually be productive in tackling the cybersecurity challenges.
Hello everyone, I'm Venu Rao, co-founder and CEO of Strobes by WeSecure App. In the last 4 years, we worked with 70 plus global customers providing pen testing and red teaming services. This experience helped us to learn the vulnerability management problems in a much better way. Talking about the problems, we all know about WannaCry and the recent Maze ransomware. All these attacks have happened because of inefficient vulnerability management. Of course, companies use multiple vulnerability scanners day in and day out, producing hundreds of reports and thousands of vulnerabilities. And Gartner says only 3% of the vulnerabilities needs immediate attention. And to do so manually, it's impossible. Well, the C-level executives as well doesn't have sufficient information to measure the true risk of their enterprise. Let me introduce our product Strobes, which is a risk-centered vulnerability management platform. What do we do? Strobes integrates with top commercial scanners like Qualys, Tenable, Rapid7, Checkmarx. And it also has inbuilt open source scanners for applications, network infra, and cloud security. Strobes aggregates vulnerabilities from all these sources and automatically duplicates the vulnerabilities, helping vulnerability management 10 times faster. Our prioritization module helps in prioritizing the vulnerabilities using multiple parameters that includes business context, asset context, and technical context, making sure that we produce high-risk vulnerabilities only. Strobes is for every cybersecurity stakeholders of an enterprise. For C-level executives, we provide amazing insights that includes Cybersecurity Health Index and Cybersecurity Scorecard to measure the real risk of an enterprise. For security teams, they need not spend hundreds of hours in vulnerability management, as Strobes will take care of deduplication and auto-prioritization. And for the developers, IT, and DevOps, Strobes integrates with different IT tools like Jira, Jenkins, Slack that helps in producing the high-risk vulnerabilities in real time. These top global companies have trusted us, and now it's your turn to join the league. Get Strobes and respond to vulnerability management like a superhero. Would you like to have a demo? Please reach out to me. I'm Venu Rao, co-founder and CEO of Strobes by WeSecure App. Thank you.
The CyRise Accelerator has been a very important investment for Deakin University. This is a very important sector for the economy, a great opportunity for Victoria to grow capability in this space, and it aligns very well with the programs we already have in teaching and research, and provides a pathway not only for our students but for our researchers into jobs of the future. We've got another fantastic cohort of founders that have come through the program today. Very excited to see not only how far they've come through this program, but where these businesses are going to go in the years to come. Deakin University is so excited to be part of this CyRise Demo Day.
This entrepreneur is the human manifestation of her creation, the world's first digital security architect. Noor Magesh has been pursuing security by design for the past decade to convince enterprises that security needs to be baked into the products they're designing. And yet, she hasn't given up. Please welcome Noor Magesh, the Peacemaker, to introduce the world's first security architect in digital form.
Hi, I am Noor Magesh, co-founder and CEO of Archimigo. Archimigo is a security architecture automation platform where you can design, continuously validate, and enforce security controls. My co-founder Magesh and I have been working in security architecture and GRC space for the last 10 years. As architects, what we do is we collaborate with other business units and securely design solutions. In a perfect world, every single technology project has to be secure by design and delivered on time. But in reality, this is not possible. Typically, we'll be involved in the initial stages of the project and brought in just before the launch. Most of the time, we have to go back and build security controls retrospectively. That delays the project delivery. Not all projects are supported by the architects throughout their life cycle. That's because there aren't enough security architects to help. Even if you have budget to hire more, there is a challenge in knowledge and skill gap. Some organizations now are taking a different approach by increasing their application security resources, therefore increasing the cost significantly. How do we solve this? What if we build a digital version of a security architect? By automating this complex, time-consuming manual task, by bringing consistency, accessibility, and scale capability, not budget. Let me introduce Archimigo, the architect's friend who's available 24/7. You can design, build, continuously validate, and enforce security controls using one simple and easy to use platform. We are giving you standardized libraries and patterns so you don't have to start from scratch. You can double the capability and support projects throughout their lifecycle at a fraction of the cost. We have spoken to 50 plus cybersecurity leaders in Australia and built Archimigo. We iterated based on their feedback. Some of the organizations are participating in our first pilot user group. Deployment and business model is very simple. All you have to do is sign up and start exploring. Today, we are looking for our next design partner. Please contact me via email. I am Noor Magesh, co-founder and CEO of Archimigo. Let's be friends.
A sales exec once told me that listening to technical people speak is like listening to dolphin. Our next entrepreneur has been very busy working to translate the dolphin that we speak as cybersecurity executives to the language of the board and the executive suite. Please welcome Ian, the Michael Jordan of CyberY, to share his vision for communicating cybersecurity.
Hi, my name is Ian Yip, and I am the CEO of Avertro, the CyberY company. We are the strategic cybersecurity headquarters that helps leaders manage the business of cyber. And Michael Jordan is one of my childhood heroes, and we share a drive to make things happen. When I was the CTO for McAfee Asia Pacific, a common conversation I had with leaders was around the key challenges they were facing. A common thread was a disconnect between the cyber team and everyone else. particularly at the executive layer. Organizations continue to struggle with aligning the tracks. GRC tools were supposed to address this. The reality is, you still need spreadsheets and consultants. Armed with this frustration, I felt compelled to make it happen by starting Avertro. We in the cyber industry need to elevate our game, to explain our cyber resilience posture to executives and articulate how we're going to get to risk tolerance levels, to forecast how the outcomes we want to achieve will look like, to right-size our budgets by aligning spend with benefits and validating our initiatives to ensure our strategies are defensible, so we can optimize our use of external assistance and ultimately prove that we're doing cyber right. We can do better than the status quo of spreadsheets and GRC. Elevating our game requires a focus on the business representation of cybersecurity and building that permanent bridge to translate and normalize cyber for everyone else. The Avertro platform streamlines and automates up to 75% of the manual effort required to do this by using the relevant data points, calculating, translating and normalizing them into a taxonomy that makes sense for executives, cyber teams and board members, giving you the power to make your business case and prove that you're doing it right. Avertro aligns everyone behind the cyber mission to ensure its success. We've just raised more funds to accelerate and meet market demand, something we're immensely proud of, given the current situation. We have 8 pilot customers, and we invite you to level up. Come on the journey with us as a design partner. Get rid of those spreadsheets and use a SaaS solution that is crafted and tailored to your requirements. Email me to get started, ian@avertro.com. I'll see you at the game where I'll have the jersey waiting for you. Thank you.
Weren't they fantastic? Well done to Vinu, to Yaniv, Noor, Ian, Ryan and Martin. That is what world-class entrepreneurship in cybersecurity looks like.
Come and chat with our founders right now on the Zoom link. You can also arrange a one-to-one follow-up conversation.
To those out there watching, thinking about giving it a go, CyRise Cohort 4 starts in September. You can absolutely do something amazing. Australian cybersecurity founders are absolutely capable of world-class success, but they need your help. Let's keep the momentum going, work with one of these founders, and let's watch them succeed.
So that's Cohort 3, done and dusted. See you on Zoom in just a moment.